A man has been killed by police in the city's East End. We have the latest.
And employment rates hit a 9-month high. Humber News starts now.
Hello, it's Friday, February 3rd. Welcome to Humber News, coming to you from the Broadcast Center here at the North Campus. I'm Alicia Parchment. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Lawrence Duchensky. Ahead on our show, we have all your news, sports, and entertainment highlights, as well as your 5-day weather forecast. But first, Alicia has our top story.
The province's Special Investigations Unit says a man has died after an incident involving police in the city's East End. This morning, officers were called to Milverton Boulevard, near Coxwell and Gerrard, shortly after 10. A man in the hospital gown, who appeared to be disoriented, was seen waving 2 sets of scissors. Officials have confirmed that a Toronto police officer was injured in the incident. It took place just a short distance from Toronto East General Hospital. Some reports say the man was shot in the chest 3 times.
The future is looking a little bleaker for a strike by Toronto's outdoor municipal workers. In a media conference this morning, QP 416 President Mark Ferguson said the city has rejected the union's latest offer. The union's offer included a 3-year wage freeze and a 5-year restriction on job security. Ferguson said the city countered with another offer late last night. He called the city's offer provocative and threatening and said it gutted their collective agreement. The deadline for the city and the union to reach an agreement is midnight on Saturday.
Canada's unemployment rate continues to climb. In a report released today, Statistics Canada says unemployment has risen to 7.6%, the highest it's been in 9 months. Canada's economy was only able to create 2,300 jobs in January instead of the expected 25,000. After a strong start in 2011, employment in Canada has largely stalled since last summer, with about 20,000 jobs being added in the last 6 months. Unemployment among people ages 15 to 24 is up for the 4th month in a row, sitting at 14.5%, and economists are predicting job creation will remain weak throughout 2012.
Young people in post-secondary education in Canada are missing invaluable opportunities, according to 25 university presidents who met in Ottawa this week. They said Canadians should be going abroad more often for their studies. Reporter Philip Missiel has the details on Humber's own international exchange program.
Looking at Humber's halls, there's no denying our multiculturalism. And thanks to our international recruitment program, Humber has no problems getting students from around the world to study here. Humber's president John Davies says the school ranks right up there with the best of them for incoming foreign exchange students.
Well, from the international perspective compared to other colleges, we are at the top end in terms of the number of international students that we have in Humber. We have, there are colleges have close to the numbers that we have, or even slightly more, but we're in the sort of top echelon of receiving.
But why is there a lack of interest to study abroad when it comes to Canadian students? Linda Chow, a manager for Humber's international recruitment, says it has a lot to do with language barriers and finances.
If I want to send Canadian students to China to study, they have to study in English, but not a lot of the programs offer in English. They are all in Chinese. If you want to send a student to Brazil, they are speaking Portuguese. So it will be a very difficult learning for the student. They have to have maybe 6 months, a year to learn the language before they can really sit in the class.
Universities and colleges are urging students to leave home to study, gain that life experience, and appreciate a different culture for a change. Philip Missiel, Humber News.
Toronto police are looking for a man accused of sexually assaulting a 16-year-old boy. Police say the suspect was going door to door posing as an employee of a gas or hydro company around 7:30 last night in the Jane and Shepherd area. The suspect is described as Asian, 30 to 40 years old, 5'6" with a medium build. He has short gray-black hair and was wearing metal-framed glasses.
A woman is in hospital with serious injuries after she fell from a 3rd-floor balcony on Sherbourne Street near Dundas Street East. Police say they are exploring the possibility that the woman was pushed, but have not confirmed that. Reports from the scene say the woman fell around 1 o'clock this morning when police were already on the scene trying to resolve a domestic incident. A man was taken into custody at the scene, but it is not known if he is facing charges. Ontario's Special Investigations Unit has been called in to investigate.
A truck driver who was working at the Sunrise propane plant at the time of the 2008 explosion has revealed he had been trained in a legal procedure by the company. The worker said he had been trained to conduct tank-to-tank fuel transfers. An Ontario Fire's Marshall report determined that a transfer was underway at the time of the explosion, which resulted in a leak. Sunrise had been warned about the practice prior to the accident. The explosion forced hundreds of Toronto residents to evacuate their homes.
When we come back, we'll have more news from around the country and the world. Luke from here will have the news, sports, and we'll have your 5-day weather forecast with Danae Hall.
The skies are cloudy to start the weekend. We can expect to see some sunshine peeking through soon. I'll tell you when, what to expect for the weekend, and what we can see coming up in our school week, coming up next in our 5-day weather forecast.